friends, welcome back to the Art Lab. Today, we're testing out something I've been wanting to try for a long time. This product has been floating around the internet for a while. Its biggest appeal is its packaging aesthetic. This is Himi. They're known for their iconic gouache jelly cups.
I've really been into the pastels lately, so I got their pastel 18-cup jelly gouache set. It comes with a mixing palette that helps cover the cups once their lids are off. There's a set of 3 brushes. The card states the colors, and then on the back has care instructions. I couldn't peel the cups while in their storage box, so I dumped them out and started to peel away. I was worried they would smell sour or musky, but there wasn't much of a scent at all. While some lids were easy to get off, others were extremely hard to peel. And the colors had interesting names. My favorite, though, being Teeth Yellow Gray. Such a weird name. And it was dark for teeth color, so in my mind, it's now just called Smoker's Teeth. Once I got all the cups settled back into their box, it was time to address the next issue: the binder separation. I can't blame them, though, for this problem, because even high-quality paints can separate over time. Normally for tube paint, I gently squeeze and knead the tube before using the paint to help blend it back in. These paints were thick like pudding, so even if I shook the cups up before peeling, the paint really wasn't moving. I stirred up the paint and started swatching. This thick paint needed a little water to help it glide onto the paper. Without thinning it out a little, it would take a long time to dry, and also the brush strokes would look very streaky. I really like the colors in this palette, although when I think pastel, I think more of a white tone or more chalky looking. But overall, the paints were really beautiful. When trying out new art supplies, I like to test them against a good quality brand that I've used before. I just happen to have a Holbein gouache set in pastel. I decided to try this gray palette paper. It's got a waxy surface so it doesn't crumple badly when it gets wet. The palette paper is gray because it helps you see the colors more realistically versus on a bright white palette. This set, though, is more pastel than vibrant, so this experiment isn't going to be a one-on-one color comparison. I tried to pick a few colors to compare to see how saturated with color or how opaque the paints were. The Holbein gouache is closer to a consistency that I'm used to, much more of a thin paint. With Holbein, a little goes a long way. Again, this is not a one-on-one color comparison, but I wanted to see what the colors looked like up close together. Holbein versus Himi. Himi is on top and Holbein is on bottom for most of these swatches. The Himi does look a little streaky right now, so let's see what it looks like when we apply it in a real painting situation. I grabbed my Art Lab sketchbook and cracked it open. Let's test these paints. Today, I'm gonna paint some trees, but not quite like Bob Ross paints them. We're just keeping it simple and low-key, no pressure here. I thought about doing stick figures, but I figured I could do just a little bit better. Do you have a drawing or doodle that you do every time you test out a new art supply? So now that we've got the Himi background done, let's let it dry while we put down the Holbein background. So far, I've really liked using the Holbein gouache. It seems that I can keep adding water to it without thinning out the paint too much. It's very highly pigmented. After putting the background layer down, the Himi looks streaky compared to the Holbein. With the Himi, it is possible that water was thinning out the paint, even though I only used a little. With the Holbein, it has so much pigment that a little water didn't even phase it. One of the things I really like about gouache is how opaque it is compared to watercolor, which is supposed to be transparent. I can layer this lighter color over a darker layer, and the dark layer doesn't show through very much. The jelly gouache acted almost like an acrylic paint. However, after it dried, it was not permanent. Like watercolor and traditional gouache, it will lift off the paper when re-wet. As I painted my little picnic blankets, I did notice that the Himi seemed to cover the grass better than the Holbein. I will note that paints with more white pigment tend to be more opaque, and that's what we see here. The Himi pink seems to have a more white blend than the Holbein. I will note that the Himi care instructions say that you can add water to reconstitute if the cups become too dried out. But they do warn that they can become moldy and suggest that you use their jelly gouache spray to spray the paint before you store it to prevent spoiling. Overall, I think the Himi paints are packaged in a fun way and would be good for a starter set. I do think you can make some really nice art with it. However, I do prefer that each color has an individual cap or lid for storage. That way you don't have to worry about keeping the box a certain way. I think both of the paintings turned out nicely. At the end of the day though, the Holbein on the left was still my favorite. The Himi, I maybe could have scooped some of the paint out of the cup and mixed it on the paper to make it a little bit more cohesive and less streaky, or maybe it was the amount of water that I used. I should play with it some more and see what results I can get. When shopping for the jelly gouache, I also came across Himi's watercolor line, including their semi-moist watercolors. I was super curious because I've worked with a lot of brands of watercolors and I've never heard of semi-moist. It's nice that they include a brush that clips to the backside, but I would be afraid it would get lost. It looks like the lid can be used as a mixing palette, and there's some really bright colors here. I thought the colors would be wet or sticky to the touch, but they felt dry and none transferred to my finger when I touched it. A little tip, dry watercolor works best when it's wet first. So, take some water and spray the palette or use a wet brush on the pan and get the paint wet and let the water soak in for just a minute before using it. This is called activating your paint. I also have Holbein watercolor, but these come in a tube. I will say that playing with these paints was a lot of fun and very relaxing. Just taking my time, applying some paint to the paper, and just letting it flow. Here I'm testing out the Holbein. I've got the basic colors laid down. And now we're going to see what colors in the Himi palette match the best. When doing a side-by-side of the colors, the Himi actually look really nice. What I will note is that up close they did seem slightly chalky when they dried. The Holbein was exactly what I expected of a watercolor paint. Watercolor should be transparent but also well pigmented. It's meant to be layered. And now for the fun part, actually getting to play with the paint. Flowers have always been a go-to doodle for me, so of course it was natural that that's what I was going to do to test out these colors in my sketchbook. I wanted to try a little bit of a wet on wet technique to see how the colors would blend together. So my first layer was orange, and I used that to wet the page, and then I put some yellow paint onto the already wet orange color. The Himi paints did not flow together as much as I thought that they would. The Holbein though, these colors are running together and making a fun tie-dyed look. My rating for these is the same as the gouache. The packaging is fun, the paint was easy to use, but the Holbein edged it out both times. I can't say that there's anything wrong with Himi, but I have my preferences and expectations of what gouache and watercolor should be, and Himi didn't quite meet the mark.
I had a lot of fun testing out the Himi paints in the art lab today. I always like trying out new products. What new brands or products have you been using lately? Let me know in the comments below. My next video will be a cozy gouache tutorial. We'll dive into what it is and how to use it. Don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with my latest videos. See you next time.